Hi, and welcome to another episode of Nursing Your Way to Wealth, where a mental health nurse and an accountant talk about wealth creation, personal development, and financial independence in the UK to help you live the life you deserve.
Hello and welcome back. Both Alexes are back. Sorry for this small delay. Like we had a little bit of a hiatus. Alex did a little bit of travelling, and I had some kind of family time, etc. So there's a little bit of a gap. I think it's probably a month. I think did we record one in between Christmas and New Year? I don't think we did.
We didn't. No, it was
No.
just before Christmas that we wrapped it up. So it's been, probably about 5 weeks.
Yeah, so thank you for returning and listening to our dulcet tones again. We'll go into a bit of kind of where we've been, what we've been doing. But this kind of round like episode for the new year, we're just in January, the 27th. What Alex and I normally do, and sometimes we discuss this kind of off episode, etc., is we set ourselves some goals for the year, and then we usually check back in December and then see if we've met them. I know previously, Alex, you and I have talked about your goal previously was to continue maxing your ISA. I wasn't there at that point, but I set myself a goal last year of trying to like fill half of it. Um, I haven't quite made that, but I've put in a little bit more than I usually would. So I think setting it and then reaching to achieve it is part of the course. So, but before we get into a kind of nitty gritty of that, we'll do a couple of goals each between us. But you've had a pretty good holiday, I've heard, over kind of Christmas and New Year, and with that comes a lovely return on heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely. So hi everybody, and Happy New Year, and hope everybody had a good break. And yes, sorry for the hiatus. That's my fault for being on holiday. So I went had a really nice time in Malaysia. So I did a nice trip. Cover it. We were there for just over 2 weeks. Saw a variety of different places. So we went into Malacca. We saw some like tea plantations up in the Cameron Highlands. We went to Penang. Then we went over to Langkawi, which is a little island just off the coast of Malaysia, which is slightly more relaxing. And then back to Kuala Lumpur. We had a few days exploring exploring Kuala Lumpur. So really, really cool. Saw lots of really nice things. Ate some good food. Really friendly people. Nice to get around. One of those places where I think I've been there and I've done it, and I probably wouldn't go back anytime soon. But that's kind of how I like to do holidays. Is that we're very active, we see a lot because it's quite a long way to go, so we'd rather do it and see. But definitely worth a visit if you've not been to that part of the world. And yeah, huge return on heartbeat, probably for all of it. But a couple of things stand out. One was around New Year's Eve, so we had luckily, well, it was a fluke. We booked a hotel that was opposite the largest building in Penang, and then at the top of that building, they had a huge firework display, and so we were facing that for New Year's Eve. So we avoided all the crowds, stayed in our air-conditioned room, and watched the really cool fireworks. So that was unexpected. Yeah, return on heartbeats there.
Yeah, it's a lovely stroke of luck, isn't it? Like you could have booked a hotel anywhere, and it
Oh
happened to
yeah,
be
it,
opposite the largest building, and your window happened to be facing it as
that's it.
well.
Yeah, we didn't plan it at all. It just happened that way. So,
And that's lovely. Some of the nicest things in life just kind of fall into your lap. Um, mm. I didn't realize you went to a tea plantation. Did you get to try any? Like,
yes,
how
we
was
brought
it?
some home as well. So we bought some tea, like the tea leaves back.
And was it good? Like, is it exceptional?
Yeah, it's really nice tea. It's
Mm.
called BOH tea, Bo tea. It's called is the name.
Mm.
They're a very small producer. They don't tend to do that much. And I've not seen it in the UK, but it was all around Malaysia, so it was
Mm.
very popular.
Oh, nice.
Really nice, interesting to see the process, how they make it. Enjoyed the cafe, enjoyed some nice views. Really, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what a tea plant looks like, to be honest with you. Like tea to me just comes in bags or leaves, but I don't know what the actual plant looks like.
Yeah, it looks they're like quite a sturdy bush. There is a type of plant which I wish I knew. It might be easier to just Google a picture of one rather than me trying to explain it. But they
Yeah.
like pick then the top of the leaves as they're budding, and depending on then what when you pick it and how long you then let them dry out for and how long you roast them for, then that determines whether it's like black tea or green tea. So
Apparently, yeah, it's called Camellia sinensis
yes,
or tea plant. Um, ah, can you grow it in England? It takes 3 years to reach maturity, about a metre in height. They should be hardy enough to survive an English winter. So 3 years of growing a plant, you might be able to make your own tea.
yeah, there's quite a lot of equipment needed, I think, to do it. But yes,
Yeah, could be an idea.
maybe worth it may be worth a try.
A go, yeah, yeah, yeah. Report back in 3 years' time. We'll grow one each and see how we go.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
be the world's most time-consuming cup of tea ever. Yeah. All right, cool. So Malaysia was great. Um, yeah, you wouldn't go back because you've seen a lot of it and done a lot of it. You had some nice tea, saw some fireworks by the fluke, I suppose.
Yes.
But yeah, nice. All right, what a good return on heartbeats. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, in terms of um, goals, I know we've talked a little bit about them, but we're going to have probably three each, maybe a fourth one, possibly. But before we start that, are you familiar with Carl Richards' kind of suggestion that you should have one big, hairy, audacious goal per year, like a ridiculous kind of stretch goal that you probably won't meet without a huge slice of luck?
I have heard about those. I must say I don't have one. I could
No, me
I
neither.
could probably make one, but um, yeah,
Yeah, I might think as we go, kind of talk through them. I might think
yeah,
about actually, I'd like to get to here, but my BHAG, as he calls it, would be this or that. And then
yes,
if you land somewhere in the middle, you've already got a long way. Okay. Um, is it all right if I pass to you for the first one?
yeah, absolutely. So I'll go first and just talk through my goals. So I have three, so I'll talk through the first one.
Hmm.
The the first one, I guess, is a continuation of from following on from last year on the finance related goals. So for me, it's maximizing my ISA kind of as soon as I can, continuing to get my putting money into my pension, and then also I want to achieve a 60% savings rate across the year. So that's quite a stretch. Well, yeah, it's fairly toppy.
Yeah, that's a punchy amount, isn't it? Well, unless you're doing like 59% now. Um,
I think I'm around like 57 or 56.
okay.
So it's a bit more than what I'm doing now.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's like that 60 is like
It would be punchy, wouldn't it?
it's quite yeah, so it's quite toppy. But that's what I'm looking to do for this year
Mm,
from a finance perspective. But yeah, immediately doing the yeah, getting the ISA filled.
yeah.
Ideally, I want to do that within kind of before September. I'm going to give myself a goal of doing that.
Wait, so how many months does that give you?
Well, I've got quite a big starting point because I'm just going to do a bed and ISA from so because I filled mine fairly early on, but this year, so I've been building up some more. So it gives me I think about 3 or 4 months
Okay.
just to finish topping that up. So again, that's also a bit of a push, but I want to get it done. But the main thing is just to have it filled.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like it might be a push to get to that point, but you've got the baby steps in process. You've already given yourself a head start from your decisions last year, so you're not starting from zero.
Yes.
You're kind of starting from you've got a bit of a head start. So it just goes to show how beneficial like consistent behavior and ongoing like slightly longer term planning can be. Um, like if you're saving nothing every month and then you're like, have you tried saving 60% of your income? You're going to be like, no way, it's not doable. How can I possibly do that? And you wouldn't have started saving 60% either. You
No.
kind of
a-
gradually kind of
Absolutely.
moved up.
It pulls up. Yeah. And that's exactly that thing of you as your income grows, you keep your lifestyle in
Yeah.
check and continue to contribute. But yeah, one of the other things I thought was quite cool as a slight aside, but similar to building up your like kind of seeing the fruits of the work from the last few years is so on, and you might have had the same, but on New Year's Eve, there's quite a lot of the Vanguard funds pay their dividends out.
Uh-huh.
And so I had my essentially the cost of my holiday funded by my dividends.
No
I didn't,
way.
yeah, I didn't use the money to um, pay for the holiday, but it was essentially an equivalent amount that, which are probably a little bit more than my holiday So it was about, yeah, I got about just under £2,000 on New Year's Eve from my various dividends. So that was quite nice.
Yeah, what that certainly softens the blow of going on the holiday. I don't think I don't own any dividend paying.
I think the funds that you will have might be like they automatically reinvest their dividends, so they're like accumulation units.
All of my funds are accumulating. Yeah.
Yeah, so you will still get dividends, they'll just automatically pay it back in. I just quite like to see I like to get the income, but also then if I need to do any rebalancing, I use some of that cash to invest into other things.
Okay, no, I get it. Yeah, to help
Yeah.
rebalance.
But it stays within my pot, within my portfolio.
Yeah.
I just keep buying more.
So you can watch some fireworks, having dividends pay for the majority of your holiday.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know if I can see. I'm just having a quick look at my Vanguard account. I don't know if I can see anything around.
I think if you look on like corporate actions or corporate activity, oh no, it might be corporate actions, and there'll be like dividend payments or dividend reinvestments. I think it does come up on because my main pension is in that Vanguard Life Strategy 80/20, and then that's got that does automatically do it, but that's around. I think they do that in the summer.
Okay.
It's like June, July, I think.
Yeah, I'll have a look. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
you saying 80/20 is not financial advice, etc. Do your own one, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just what I look at.
Yeah. So I have had a dividend actually. I'm looking at corporate actions.
Yeah.
Under my ISA, and it says type dividend. Let me look at details for that. So Life Strategy 100, again, not financial advice. Equity Fund Accumulation has declared a £3.91 per share final distribution.
Yeah.
Group 2 units will have an equalisation rate of 1.79, many numbers applied.
So if you then watch out for your like transactions, you will see that come in, and your balance would have jumped to reflect that.
Well,
so, yeah, have a look at that. But that's essentially the dividends that your fund will have earned. So they're not huge yields. I think they do like probably below 2%, but because most of the growth most of your return comes from the growth, but that's a nice kicker in addition to that. So
yeah, no, I'll have a look. I will definitely have a look. Maybe. Okay.
goes for any listeners as well. If you may have not have noticed that if you've got accumulation funds, but that's specific for Vanguard. On their thing, you will see it as like corporate actions.
Well, okay, I didn't know that. I'll dig a bit deeper. Yeah, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
So in terms of my first one, I've just started a new job, and I've had 2 payments so far, and it's not really settled on how much I'll get monthly because I've changed my pension contributions to avoid some 40% tax. So I don't know how much it will level out in terms of how much I will have extra to invest. What I would like to do though is I'm going to try and increase how much I invest by somewhere around 30%.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've been able to wangle a chunky pay rise out of this, and that links quite nicely to kind of goal 2 that I'll talk about later. But so the idea is not to like frivolously have this extra money and buy fancy expensive things that I don't actually need because I have extra cash. I know I'm going to earn extra, so I've set like these things up in advance. So I've increased my amount I put into my ISA already by a little bit, and I'm just going to see how that falls within the month. And I've also increased my kind of pension contribution. So that money, yes, I've earned it, but I don't directly see it. It gets kind of filtered away into the right places. And I'm going to see at the end of kind of January's pay run, when I'm finished with that month, how much do I have left? Could I add, let's say, another 10%, possibly something like that? Because I don't want to overcommit myself and then have to, run out of money 3/4 of the way through the month. So I'm just going to tread a little bit of water and see how I can make that work for me. So a little bit choppy at the moment, but I think the plan is there. And my wife's done something similar because I don't want to be like stack up some extra kind of hundreds of pounds and then start looking at fancy things because I'm 100% susceptible to stuff like that. So the overall goal would be to at least this time fill half of my ISA, which is the £20,000 limit for the year. My minimum aim will be 10,000 in. The kind of the BHAG, the hairy audacious goal for that would probably be 12. And we'll see kind of where we're at January 2027. I'd be ecstatic even if I got half of that. I've known it's coming for a bit, and I'm like, do I get a cleaner? Do I get a new car? How many pairs of shoes does one man need? And I'm like, those are all fleeting things. I'm like, I do have a cleaner every now and then, come and do like a deep clean, like once every kind of 3-4 months or something. But it's not kind of regularly churning away like pinching money basically. But I've really thought about it, and I was like, actually, I don't love going to work. I don't mind it, but I wouldn't choose it. If I could do anything, I would not choose to go into the office and do work. I would be doing all sorts of other stuff. So I think, as we've said before, the most valuable thing you can do with your money is buy your time back, like buy your freedom. So that's my goal. Yeah, goal one for me: fill half my ISA. Ideally, a little bit more than that.
Yeah, cool. So I'll go on to my second goal, which is, so it's related to my kind of my job and my career. And I think because I reached quite a big milestone last year in getting to that Coast 5, so I've put in so much into my investments, both in my like ISA, general accounts, and my pension. I don't necessarily have to, but I don't have to contribute anymore on a monthly basis in order to get to retirement and have an income that's going to support me at a more traditional retirement age. And so in theory, I can just use the gap now between now and my retirement age to my roles, and my work just has to meet my needs rather than having to aggressively be saving. So one thing I'm wanting to have a look at is taking a bit of time out during this year, just to almost reset, like just have a decent amount of time off where I have no employer, and then look to transition to a slightly more flexible kind of interim type roles. So one of my goals for for this year is to be able to get to that point, and that's going to allow me to almost go and dip in and out of the workforce when I want to and need to. So these will be they're still very much a core that's similar to roles to what I do now, helping companies kind of with very kind of big projects. But it's about now, between now and kind of the next 6 months, is building up that network in order to give me that launch pad. The thing with the nature of interim work is you're needed from very short notice, so you can't often line it up months in advance like you do with a permanent job. So it's a bit of a nerve-wracking risk to take a job, or to basically leave an employer when there's nothing lined up. But over the last kind of 12, 13 years of work, I've been building up a skill set which will be very valuable and will allow me to go into companies short term. And that then fits with me to be able to, I'll still be working, but it's only short term. I can take breaks in between. There's less of a kind of, definitely get something closer to my like closer to home. And so I can prioritize other things, which is not just working for a huge corporation. So that's one of my other goals for this year, is that.
Yeah, and I think the transition, you're going to make the transition for yourself way easier than perhaps dropping it and thinking, okay, I've got 20 days now and I need to make this amount of money. That's a huge amount of pressure.
Yeah.
And obviously the Coast 5 thing's immeasurably helpful for you because it takes a big lot of pressure off, and actually it probably wouldn't matter too much if you earned half your salary for a bit whilst you create the network you need.
Mm-hmm.
Probably what will happen is, because your network will be good and you'll be able to move kind of last minute, you might even do far better, not traveling so far, commuting, and having more time back for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. The dream.
So because that's the thing now. It's time to enjoy the day to day.
Yeah. I mean, I used to commute a long way. Like I was commuting at an hour and a half per, like in the morning, and then an hour and a half after work. And it is it gets a lot after a time. Like you think you can do it, and then actually you're constantly tired, and it
Yeah.
just immeasurable amounts of benefit from not working really far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge, huge. Okay, so goal two for you. Goal two for me will be to amass some more cash savings. So my wife and I either this year want to either extend our house out to make it more livable, create like a kitchen diner dining room area, or and some other like an extra bedroom upstairs. I say these things like they're simple. It's a lot. It's a huge project, and it's going to take a lot of money, time, and effort. So do that, or be in the position to move house to a more kind of house that fits our needs a bit better. So my wife's got a long term goal of opening like an animal therapy center. Uh, we can't do that in a terraced house with a little garden. We would need some extra land and space. And she wants to be able to do that and bring people who would benefit from that, either people with learning disabilities or people who would benefit from like equine, like horse therapy, just spending time with other animals and things like that. So that's kind of a lofty kind of goal. But I want to be able to like move if we find the right place. I don't want not having enough cash on hand to be like a problematic factor for that, because these things have a habit of like slipping away from you. If only we had X, we could have done that. So I want to have enough saved back to be actually say like actually we can do this at that point, because it's something that we both would like to do, and we just need to stack the odds in our favor, I think.
Yeah, well, that's really nice actually. As like a long-term goal. I didn't quite realize that, and I think,
Yeah.
yeah, for me that's a perfect. Like sometimes you do just need to have some dollars in your bank account to help give you those options. And
Mm.
as you said, it's that you can delay it forever, can't you? And this is a good way of at least pulling it forward.
Yeah, and just being able to move at the opportunity when the opportunity strikes, like a bit like you with doing your kind of the contracting work. If someone offers you an amazing kind of 3 month contract and you're still tied somewhere else, you're going to have to turn that down.
Yeah,
Whereas if you're more free, you're a bit more buoyant, you can move should you need to. And it's kind of creating your own luck. And it's the ability to take the opportunity should it present itself.
yeah.
Uh, I think really important. So we're going to do. That's why I've not picked like Max My ISA, which would be a ridiculous BHAG
Yes, that makes
for
sense.
me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
kind of a little bit of both,
yeah.
because fortunately we've both been able to wangle some pay rises going on. So we're going to use that extra money in a very specific kind of way, like for us to get from point A to point B. Although my third goal, to be honest with you, might derail all of those plans. But yeah, I think it's recognizing where you want to be, because actually you don't make progress by wishes. You kind of have to, no one's going to come along and say, well, Alex, you could just have this lovely house in the country with enough space to keep some donkeys and some chickens. Like, I wish they would, but it's probably not going to fall into my lap. I have to make that happen.
Exactly, and I think that's so true for anything. It's like action, and you often, I think, when you start to take the action, doors open up, and then there's definitely seems to be a correlation there. Certainly, I've found that in the past.
I think so. Just being available. Like
Yeah,
we looked at a house and it's kind of lit a bit of a fire under us. Like we looked at a house in early December that was local to us, and um, it had enough space. It wasn't an ideal location, but it could be workable. And it was not like an auction style, but like people were making offers kind of on the house at slightly below the asking price. And we basically just got outbid by someone who had more money than us.
yeah,
And I find that quite frustrating. So it's kind of pointed me in the right direction to be actually, if this comes around again. I mean, that the house we looked at wasn't perfect at all, but it could have been made to work over time, and we have time. And I really didn't like the feeling that someone has outbid us. I mean, there are loads of richer people than us for sure, but it kind of it caused me a little bit of I was just annoyed by it, to be honest. I was like, oh, I wish that could be us. So it's time for us to make our own luck.
yeah. I think that's really really good, and I think also like having that experience to then impact your goal. I think you know why you're doing it, because I think there's something about like feeling something that's not worked or not gone the way that you thought, or the feeling that you've had when something has, that there's definitely something linked to that. That definitely comes up when, for me anyway, when like setting goals. It's like, I know what that feels like, so I'm never going there again.
I don't want to feel that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, we're kind of back to like when my electricity was going off, my fridge was leaking, and my freezer was de-thawing overnight because I didn't have the money for the electric meter at that point. And I was like, actually, I never want to feel like this again. So I'm going to really lean into finances and learn them. And that was before I knew anything um, about kind of anything like financial based in terms of. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what an interest rate was at that point. I was just like day to day, like,
Yeah.
oh no, my freezer's leaked, got to chuck this food out, etc. Um, yeah, yeah. So it kind of pushes you in the right direction, and it reminds me a little bit of the book, "The Obstacle's the Way" by Ryan Holiday, like the Stoic writer. Like if you're jumping over obstacles and you're tackling stuff broadly, you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. That sounds like a good book, actually.
Yeah, it is. I listen to it on Audible. Obviously, other platforms are available. But yeah, short summary. If life keeps throwing you difficult things, you're probably going in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about my third goal, which is kind of similar in terms of theme of trying to get like a bit more of a longer term view. But I am so thinking of, and this is probably the time window of, I guess, 3 to 5 years from now, transitioning, like changing career to become like a financial advisor. Mainly because, well, one, I think it's definitely just my passion, but two, I think it just helps, it facilitates more independent work and working in smaller places and actually working and to help people. Um, and so there's quite a transition and shift in that's needed there, mainly through you need to qualify. You need to do certain exams. So I'm going to start doing those specific exams over the next kind of couple of years. They take 2 to 3 years to build, but almost as trying to start turning the tanker and positioning that for the kind of next kind of 3 to 5 years is building up that to a point where, similar to your kind of the dream of having the house in the country and um, having the animals there for people to have therapy. It's kind of mine and my wife's dream to have similar thing, but we work for ourselves on a very kind of independent basis, doing ad hoc pieces of work on advice, not just financial, but on the legal side as well, and have our own little firm to do that. And that's, again, one of those kind of 5 year plus goals, but almost use the corporate life that we've been having to fund our coffers to then transition to a much simpler and slower life. So that's, as part of that overall plan, starting on to do some of these exams is also my third goal for 2026.
Hmm. Yeah, I think a entirely reasonable. I mean, you said it's something that you get. I think you get a lot of enjoyment out of, like, and
Yeah.
it's like tangible, and clearly you're committed
Mhm.
to it because you've sat with me most Wednesdays or Tuesdays now and recorded 85 episodes of a finance based podcast. So you've got the longevity and the willingness to do it. You just need to jump over these exam hurdles. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
Essentially. And what a lovely thing to be able to do. Like when I don't think if you pull it off, like when you and your wife pull this off, you could be like, okay, we're going to work March, April, and May, and then we're going to have the summer off, or you're going to work 4 months in the winter, like whatever suits you. But you have the opportunity to. I mean, not that you'll be turning down work, but you have more control over your calendar. Like if you guys want to go to another country for a month, I don't know, you want to go to Portugal for winter,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And also we can work from Portugal for a
Yeah.
week or something and then we do whatever we want really. But that's the thing. And again, it's that theme of controlling your time, mastery of your own destiny. That's for me, is like the palpable
Mm.
thing, which and motivator. motivating factor for me.
Yeah, and if you don't
Um,
need an office, like if you can
yeah,
wangle it so you can do it all remotely, which you probably can,
yeah,
at least for a good portion of it, you could work from anywhere. I mean, Tenerife has the same time zone as the UK,
yes,
and it's way warmer. You could work from a balcony overlooking the ocean.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like the kind of the transition now over the next kind of 23, yeah, 5 years
Mm.
to get to that stage.
Do you know how many exams it will be, or how many you'll need to
I
sit?
think it's about 6 or 7.
Yeah, I've heard it's hefty, but I didn't realise it was that many kind of exams.
Yeah, well, because I'd done my accountancy exams, I think I'd be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my third goal for the year.
Yeah, but what a lovely thing to kind of aim for, to have something that's not, it's not next week, it's not retirement level time, it's like an in between thing that actually will grant you a huge amount of flexibility.
Yes,
Um, yeah, in time.
precisely.
You have to come up with a name for your financial planning firm.
Yes, in time.
Yeah, not today,
Yeah,
right?
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, interesting. Well, if you need a logo, I know a man who did our one. Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
of course.
happy he's very good graphically to draw stuff like that. I can link the two of you together. Oh, that sounds amazing. And actually, if you were just thinking about these financial principles and where you've got yourself in the last 12, 13 years, if you were living paycheck to paycheck, like spending all the money you have, you're kind of stuck within that corporate system, these things wouldn't be options for you. They'd be, oh, one day I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
But actually, through the behaviors you and your wife have been kind of doing for this last time, you've enabled yourself to, it's not a pipe dream. It's actually, I'd like to get to, like, if you're at point A now, you'd like to get to point C. You can do it. There's a bridge
yeah,
towards that gap. It's not like absolutely unattainable.
yeah.
And imagine you doing your first like client meeting of your own firm.
Yeah, and I also
Huge.
yeah, that would be dreamy. And I think as well,
Yeah, it'll be me, right?
it's but I think as well, it's like an embodiment of showing what's possible, and like almost I would at that point, but me and my wife would have walked the talk and got to the end, and that's then quite a compelling. It's not just somebody reciting textbooks; it's actually real. And I think because I'd be a bit older, better able, have more life experience, are better able to advise on things.
Yeah, and you kind of need a bit of that, but also it's not you're not doing all of these things in one leap, are you? Like you've got
Oh,
stages to go
absolutely.
through.
Yeah,
You've
yeah,
got like you know which exams you need to sit, so you can prep for them. You can kind of tick them off in order as you go. You can start building your network. So it's not like by 7 days' time you need to have all of this done and dusted. Like you've got loads of time in between, and you're doing it step by step. So it's not like it is a big thing to achieve within that kind of 3, 4, 5 year time frame, but you're not having to cram all of that work into a short space
yeah.
of time. Yeah. Oh, that'll be amazing. Um, I'll be your first client.
Not seeing the prices yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'll bring you a big bag of receipts
Yeah,
and be
yeah,
like, I don't know what any of this means. Here you go.
yeah,
Yeah, no, but what a lovely thing. And actually, the ultimate goal, time freedom for you and your wife.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
Um, So instead of being told you need to be in the office on 8 till 4 or whatever, 5 days a week, you can be like, actually, I don't fancy work in July.
yeah.
Yeah, I have the time off. Yeah. So my last goal, the third one, it's a bit of a two-parter. So I'm in the middle of doing a prescribing qualification. So I'd like to finish that. That's pretty much done. I just need the time really to get that done. That'll be done by April. That will come with a pay rise as well, which will help me with goals 1 and 2. But the other goal that might derail all of these plans is my wife and I have decided to try and have a baby. So
Oh, massive.
it might derail the entire financial plan. It could be totally kind of chuck it into absolute turmoil. But we had a period of being a bit indecisive around that. But now we're both fundamentally on the same page that actually that is something we would like in life. So it could, yeah, I could be asking you questions. How do I save for my own child at some point, it could. I think it'll be the most rewarding but most difficult thing I've ever done in my entire life, for sure. And that's assuming we can do it without some form of IVF kind of intervention. That said, because we've done some financial stuff over the last kind of 5, 6, 7 years or so, we are in a position to be able to do those things should we need them. I mean, I really hope we don't.
Yeah.
But again, it gives you options. It gives you a runway, and it gives you more choice in the matter. Yeah. So.
Oh, well, that's really good news. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm going to sign you up one day for babysitting services.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, haven't seen your rates for that either.
I was going to say, you've not seen the prices.
Yeah.
But yeah, reassuringly expensive is how I like to describe it.
I think so. It sounds reasonable to me, 100%.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so we're currently in the trying phase, and there's no guarantee, of course, but we're going to double down on that. And it might mean it delays the other two plans for a bit. It could be a while, obviously, because we have to chop in and out of work. Like, it's a lot. For sure. But I think I feel really positive about it. I feel like it's very doable. I feel like I'm really, I don't know if mature enough is the right word, but I think I'm ready for it now. Whereas like 10 years ago, I'd be like, no way, can't look after myself, let alone another person. So those are big life goals. Like in 5 years' time, our lives could look appreciably different, like hugely different.
Yes. Wow. Watch this space, people.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come back for episode, I don't know, 200 and whatever, or even more, actually, way more than that, 400 or something, in 2031. And we'll see where we're at. And so have you got any other things you want to talk about in terms of goals?
No, those are my main ones, really. I think, just quite focused on, similar theme of just that we got the process set up and it's just keep putting money through the funnel, let the machine do its thing. And then, looking more kind of planning a bit further ahead now to almost a transition from corporate life into something a little bit slower, something a bit more rewarding, something that's a bit more flexible.
And you can do it on your own terms.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another thing I've just worked out as we're going, this year as well, I should hit quite a chunky milestone for finances. That I will have myself, not including my wife. I'm going to hit the 6-figure club at some point this year.
Oh, nice.
Things would have to go dramatically wrong to not hit it.
Why have you got £999,999?
Not 900. That would be a 7-figure club, wouldn't it? I wish.
Sorry, 99. I meant 99,000.
No, so at the moment, like total, I'm at about somewhere between kind of 94 and 95, and it fluctuates, obviously.
Oh, amazing.
But with the extra salary I bring in comes extra pension contributions. That counts. The investments count. Cash also counts. That'll be like, it's something that if you told me that 6 years ago when I started investing, I'll be like, you're mad. I'm never going to achieve that. And a lot of it's growth, and it's a lot of it's not me doing the work. Like the money is making money for us, which is amazing. So it's kind of falling into place, and it's proof of like if you instill these financial habits at some point, like you've done with coasting, you can take your foot off the gas and it will run itself.
Yeah. But that's such good. Yeah, that's crazy. That's really good.
Isn't it? It's mental.
There's that quote from Charlie Munger, who was Warren Buffett's business partner at Berkshire Hathaway, who said something like, the first 100,000 is a bitch, but you just got to get there. And then after that, essentially you start to, it starts to make a difference, because you can have, your annual growth can be as much as your contributions that you put in. Quite easily.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, I might reach that this year. So that would be amazing. But I'm at the point at the moment when I do have a look at it, it can sway a couple of thousand either way.
Yes.
Whereas when I first started out, it was like it made £10 difference, £20 difference, eventually £100 difference, and I thought that was huge at the time. But now I can look at it and it's like, well, it's this much. And then in 2 days' time, I look at it again and it's gone down £2,000. But actually, it doesn't matter because I don't need it. It's just in it for the long run, and it's slowly compounding. Over time. In totally other news, we did an episode before about I got some books from Ben. So Ben, if you're still listening, thanks very much. I've just finished Just Keep Buying by Nick Maggiulli, so I'm ready to offer that out to another listener. If you'd like a copy of it, just email us. It's nursingyourwaytowealth@gmail.com. Ideally be in the UK, but I would be open to posting it kind of somewhere else. But this is where we get someone from Australia who wants a copy. So I have to wing it all the way over there. It'll be a £3 book and 20 quid worth of postage or something. But yeah, ideally in the UK, if you want a copy of it, I will just email us and I'll post it out. I've only got one copy, so definitely first come, first served.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, hopefully nobody in Australia wants. It'd be a very slow delivery.
Yeah, it would. Absolute snail mail. Yeah. Is there anything else, Alex, you wanted to talk about for this episode 85?
No, I think that just covers kind of sets the scene for this year. And yeah, again, if there's any like topics that people want to cover, any questions, if you've got goals for 2026 that you want to share with us, that'd be great to hear from you.
We could be their accountability people.
You can, yes, you can. We can call it out, and we can hold you accountable. And
we'll check back in December. Did you get there? Did you not?
Yeah.
How close did you get? Did you go way above it?
Yeah, and I think it does help having some goals for the year for yourself. I think it does help kind of focus you, and it definitely helps me knowing that I've said it on air and I've said it to you, so that to that accountability point. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think in a couple of years, I'll be like, how many exams have you passed? When is this happening? Do you have a logo yet? What's the name of your company? But it's just breaking down those things, isn't it? It sounds massive to have these huge goals, and you're like, actually, this is huge. Probably I can't do it. But if you break that down into actually, it's this much per month, or I need to do this exam in the next 3 months. It becomes less of a humongous thing. It's just step by step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think sometimes it can just feel, certainly with the financial goals, it can get a bit frustrating because you're trying to get into a hurry of just putting more and more in, and it doesn't seem, your total investments don't seem to be moving much. But if you just keep with it, it does really start to add up, and it starts to kick in. Does the compounding? It definitely does. And it's just focusing on those things that you can control and not getting too impatient with it.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is to trust the process, isn't it? Over time.
Absolutely.
And actually, I don't want to earn every single pound that I'm going to need to be able to retire a little bit early and live a good life. I want the markets to do their thing and help grow me money. Like, I get tired. I need to sleep 8-9 hours at night. I don't want to be working every hour of every day. So what we'll do with that money is give it to people who can and do and create stuff in the world to grow that money over time. I'm just looking at my Vanguard account again. Of that kind of £96,000 I have, in terms of growth, stuff that I haven't had to earn, and some of it's employer contributions from my pension, but growth-wise, it's, hold on, let me check. It's grown 25, nearly 26,000 of that. So I've done, say, 3/4 of the lifting at the moment, and the markets have done the rest. And over time, that balance will swap. So at some point, I'll have done 50% contributions, and the market will have done the other 50%. So it's not all me. We're using the financial tools we have available to our benefit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm sometimes gobsmacked when I look at it. I'm like, actually, that's a yearly salary for some people. That was me when I worked in the hospital before I did nursing. That used to be my entire yearly salary.
Yeah, pre-tax as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would end up with about 18k or something. Yeah. And to look at it, I've not had to earn that money. Like, it's been earned for me, which is, at some point, I'm going to get to the point where we have like a third income coming in, which is huge.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, we'll let the world do some of the work.
That's it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, okay. Are we done for episode 85?
Yeah, I think let's wrap it up there.
Cool. Thank you for your time. I'm glad you had a good time in Malaysia.
Thank
We'll
you.
return to the usual kind of format of a return on Heartbeats, reasonable or ridiculous, next week. But yeah, if you've got any thoughts, questions, kind of episode ideas, or you want to come on and talk to both of us, you absolutely can. Just email us at nursingyourwaytowealth@gmail.com. It would be nice to get an email from a listener that's not spam about crypto. We've had a lot of those lately. Have you checked the inbox recently, Alex, or no?
I haven't actually.
It's full of it. Honestly, I get rid of about 4 a week. And they're like, we think this would be a great idea. And you look at their like business model, and they're like crypto leverage, and I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah. Probably don't need that.
No, we don't want any part of that. Thank you, but I appreciate the input. Yeah, cool. So I'll see you next week, my friend. We'll go from there.
Yes. See you later. Thanks, Alex, and thanks everybody for listening.
None of what we discuss on the show is to be considered financial or health advice, and we recommend you always do your own research or consult an independent financial advisor or a doctor when making your financial or health decisions.